Hi there, it's day 8 of my diet and nutrition myth busting. My name's Mel Wakeman and today I want to talk to you about supplements. So I hear a lot that there's a greater place for supplements these days because A, our soils are all depleted, and B, because we're all having a pretty crap diet and it's processed and convenience based, that our diet is not as nutritionally rich as it should be or once was. So if we look at soils, I do appreciate that through intense cultivation in some countries there may be some reduction in the mineral content of soils, and potentially that gets translated into the plants. Yields may be lower, we're seeing effect of climate change, and that might have an effect on the nutritional value of some foods. But don't overthink this. Do not think that all our plants and vegetables are now nutritionally depleted and we need to fill the gap with a supplement, because that really isn't the case, because our diet should be a mixture anyway of different types of produce, and actually the more variety we get, the more likelihood it is that we will receive the nutrients that our body needs. So then that leads, I guess, to the next point, which is, okay, we recognise that if people are relying very heavily on a processed convenience based diet, do you know what? No, it's not going to be particularly nutritionally rich. And if we're going to continue to rely on that, should a supplement be therefore used to fill the gap? Well, I don't think so, because a supplement is there to sort of enhance, temporarily boost the diet to fill that gap. It's not a replacement, so you can't make up for a poor diet through using supplements. And one of the reasons that is because our body actually absorbs nutrients much better from real food. When we get a supplement, we get a loading dose of that particular vitamin or mineral, and when our body is exposed to high doses or higher than normal doses of a particular vitamin or mineral, the absorption rate often reduces. So particularly when I see this idea that, well, something's good, so more is better, I see lots of people buying sort of high mega doses, the one a day, look like horse pill type of supplement. And actually what we're probably going to find is that we're not going to have the capacity to absorb all of that, and much of it will probably end up down the toilet. Now, there's also a safety element here when it comes to supplements. I don't have a one-size-fits-all approach to supplements. It has to be done on an individual basis. But if we look at the groups of people who are more vulnerable to vitamin and mineral deficiencies, it is going to be the very young, because they have high demands relative to their intake, the very old, because also they like to have high demands with perhaps a reduced food intake or reduced absorption capacity of their gut. Breastfeeding and pregnant women, for obvious reasons, they've got higher requirements, and also those that have pre-existing medical conditions, again because their nutrient requirements are going to be higher, and particularly if you look at health conditions that affect the gut, maybe their ability to absorb nutrients is reduced, so they have maybe a malabsorption syndrome. Those are the people generally that I would consider would benefit from a supplement. But I'm not going to say, oh, go out and buy this supplement or go for a broad spectrum. I know that most people would probably benefit in the winter months, so we're just coming out of that now, with a vitamin D supplement. But generally we need to be mindful of not overdoing it. So when I look at people purchasing supplements, say we're looking at mega dosing, which is a problem. It's not a particularly well regulated industry, and I think many people assume that because it's a natural supplement, it's what the body should be having anyway, that it's fine to take big doses. What we have to be mindful of is that actually in high doses, many vitamin and mineral supplements might give you digestive problems, okay? So magnesium is a classic, something that I hear a lot in terms of most people are deficient and we should all have a magnesium supplement. If you're suffering from fatigue, there is a place for that, but if you're going to have more than 300 milligrams, you might well end up running to the toilet most of the time, okay? So in terms of other things as well, we're seeing natural plant-based components, so we're recognizing that, say, phytochemicals in plants, let's say turmeric, for example. So you've got curcumin in turmeric that's recognized to be anti-inflammatory. we're seeing really high levels of turmeric in supplements. And you know what? We don't really know the impact of having a supplement on our health, if that's going to be beneficial. So no, I don't think everybody needs a supplement. What I would recommend is you speak to somebody qualified who knows about nutrition, so a registered nutritionist such as myself or a dietitian. And if you're going more down the herbal route, then speak to a qualified medical herbalist. So I work with Hannah Charman from Physic Health Consulting. She's a great lady to speak to. Don't just go willy-nilly and do it on your own, because also there may be drug interactions if you're already taking medication. There may be certain supplements, including plant-based supplements or vitamins and minerals, that would not be safe for you to take. So please don't assume that you can just take all supplements and it'll be fine because your body will get rid of what it doesn't need. It won't be the case. Thanks guys, I'll see you again later.